The approach to integrating women into the mainstream workforce in Muslim-majority countries is complex, dynamic, and varies dramatically from one nation to another. There is no single, Islamic, model, but rather a spectrum of strategies influenced by economic necessity, e.g., diversification away from oil, demographic youth bulges. National development visions, e.g., Saudi Vision 2030, UAE Centennial 2071. Socio-cultural norms and the pace of social change. Government policies and legal reforms. Here's a breakdown of the key strategies and efforts being employed, categorized by the primary focus. 1. Legal and regulatory reforms. Many countries are reforming laws to create a more supportive legal environment for women workers. Enacting anti-discrimination laws. Countries like the UAE, Jordan, and Tunisia have introduced laws prohibiting gender-based discrimination in hiring and pay. Strengthening harassment laws. There is a growing movement to criminalize sexual harassment in the workplace. For example, Egypt passed a law in 2021 criminalizing sexual harassment. Reforming family law. Some countries are reviewing personal status laws that impact women's ability to work, such as those governing marriage, divorce, and child custody, which can be a significant barrier. Ensuring legal capacity. Reforms, particularly in the Gulf states, have granted women the right to travel, choose where to live, and apply for a passport without a male guardian's permission, which is fundamental to participating in the workforce. 2. Education and upskilling. This is the most widespread and universally accepted strategy. Massive investment in female education. In many Muslim-majority countries, including Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan, women now outnumber men in university enrollment. This has created a large, highly educated female cohort eager to enter the workforce. STEM focus. Governments are actively encouraging women to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to prepare them for high-growth industries. The UAE and Saudi Arabia are prominent examples, with women making up a significant portion of STEM graduates. Vocational training and leadership programs. Programs are being established to train women in specific skills and prepare them for leadership roles. 3. Direct economic and corporate policies. Governments are using their economic power to incentivize change. Quotas in boardrooms and government. Several countries have implemented quotas to fast-track female representation. Egypt has a parliamentary quota for women. Pakistan requires at least 5% women on corporate boards. UAE has mandated that every corporate board include at least one woman. Public sector is a model employer. The public sector is often the largest employer of women in many of these countries, offering perceived security and social acceptability. This is common in Egypt, Jordan, and the Gulf states. Support for female entrepreneurship. Governments are creating funds, incubators, and streamlined business registration processes to support women-owned small and medium enterprises, SMEs. 4. Creating a supportive social infrastructure. Recognizing that social norms are a major barrier, governments and the private sector are building infrastructure to facilitate women's work. Expanding childcare facilities. Offering on-site nurseries or subsidizing childcare costs is becoming more common, especially in large corporations and government entities in the Gulf and North Africa. Promoting flexible and remote work. The pandemic accelerated the adoption of remote work, which is particularly beneficial for women who may have caregiving responsibilities. Transportation solutions. In segregated societies, providing safe and reliable transportation is crucial. Companies in Saudi Arabia often provide private buses for female employees. 5. National branding and changing public discourse. Governments are actively using media and public figures to reshape attitudes. Showcasing female role models, highlighting successful women in science, business, and government, e.g., UAE's Minister of State for Advanced Technology, Sarah Al-Amiri, to change public perception. Framing it as a national priority. Initiatives like Saudi Vision 2030 explicitly link female workforce participation to national economic strength and modernization. This reframes the issue from a Western import to a national imperative. Engaging religious leaders. In some contexts, religious leaders are engaged to provide Islamic interpretations that support women's education and right to work. Contrasting examples on the spectrum. Country key strategies and AMP, focus areas. Notable outcomes, challenges. United Arab Emirates. Top-down, visionary approach. Heavy investment in education, STEM, legal reforms, guardianship, quotas for boards, and showcasing female leaders. One of the highest female labor force participation rates in the region. Women are prominent in government, business, and STEM fields. Saudi Arabia. Rapid, transformative reform driven by Vision 2030. Lifting the driving ban, reforming guardianship laws, massive entry of women into retail and hospitality, promoting sports and entertainment. Female labor force participation has more than doubled in a decade, from approximately 20% to over 35%. Still faces significant cultural and structural challenges. Malaysia. Pragmatic, development-focused approach. Strong emphasis on education, female entrepreneurship, and flexible work arrangements. Well-established support systems. High educational attainment for women, but still faces a leaky pipeline issue where women struggle to reach the highest corporate levels. Indonesia. Grassroots and community-based. Strong history of female micro-entrepreneurship. Government focuses on financial inclusion and SME support. Women are highly active in the informal economy and SMEs. Formal sector participation and representation in senior roles remain challenges. Bangladesh. Export-oriented industrialization. The ready-made garment, RMG, industry has been the primary driver, employing millions of women from rural areas. Lifted millions of women out of poverty and given them economic agency. Working conditions and wages in factories remain a major concern. Persistent challenges. Despite these efforts, significant challenges remain across most countries. Deep-rooted cultural norms. The primary expectation that a woman's main role is domestic and caregiving remains powerful. The double burden, working women still bear the majority of household and childcare responsibilities. Legal gaps. In many countries, laws regarding inheritance, divorce, and custody still disadvantage women. Workplace harassment, a significant barrier to entry and retention. The glass ceiling. While entry-level participation is increasing, women remain severely underrepresented in senior leadership and board positions. In conclusion, Muslim-majority countries are not a monolith, but they are actively and strategically working to integrate women into the workforce. The methods range from top-down legal and economic reforms to bottom-up educational and cultural shifts, all while navigating the complex interplay between modernity, economic need, and cultural and religious identity.